Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead Explained video, and in today's video I'll be talking about the Whisperers and everything we know about this villainous group. This video will be broken into three parts: the origin of the Whisperers, Alpha and the Whisperers, and then what happened to the group after the war with the survivors. So the origin. With the Whisperers, there are some issues with what the origin is, and that's because there are two. The Walking Dead Season 10 has a flashback episode which shows us Alpha and Beta meeting for the first time, bonding and making a mask, and they also start calling each other A and B. This episode really is framed as an origin episode for the Whisperers, and that was the intent of the showrunner at the time. However, Tales of the Walking Dead happened, and this show gave us a new origin of the Whisperers with episode 3D. It is still unclear if Tales is canon or not because of the time loop episode and the ghost episode, but for the sake of this video I'll be treating episode 3 as canon, with episode 2 of season 10 being worked into that. So the origin according to Tales is that Alpha did not actually create the Whisperers. The Whisperers were created by a woman named Hera sometime before the year 2013. We don't know much about Hera's Whisperers other than that they were very different to Alpha's. The original Whisperers were not animalistic and were just normal people using masks to travel and to hide in. In 2013, Hera and her Whisperers came across a woman called Dee and her daughter Lydia in the wasteland. Dee, once joining the Whisperers, did not last long, however, and her and Lydia were banished only 1 year later because Dee did not agree with Hera's more humane leadership. This is where The Walking Dead Season 10 Episode 2 comes in. After being banished, Dee and Lydia come across a former country singer known as the Half Moon. After forming the bond, the two create a mask for him, and after that they go back to Hera and her Whisperers, kill her, and take over the Whisperers, becoming Alpha and Beta. Together, they turn the Whisperers into an animalistic cult, rejecting everything that made them human. And rule under Alpha was very different. As I said, Alpha and Beta turned the group into a cult, and the Whisperers became highly territorial and would attack anyone that entered their land, just like wolves. The Whisperers are a nomadic group that lived within hordes of walkers and would travel in hordes around the Virginia wasteland in the summer and would travel south in the winter. The Whisperers are a surprisingly large group with hundreds of survivors under the rule of Alpha. Leadership within the Whisperers is very primal, with Alpha at the top with a second Beta, and later Gamma would become third in charge after saving Alpha from an attempt on her life. All other Whisperers are at the bottom and there's no hierarchy for them. Alpha ruled with fear to keep her people in line, and with the help of a most loyal Beta, the two would frequently kill Whisperers to get their point across and to scare the Whisperers into submission. Alpha also had a way to brainwash her peers to make them forget about their lives before, so that would be more receptive to her will and making rule easier. During wartime, the Whisperers are amongst the most unique villains because they choose to attack a group indirectly and would only show themselves when necessary. As seen in The Walking Dead Season 10, the Whisperers would send hordes of walkers to attack and weaken a foe, or even just send their 10,000 plus strong horde of walkers to wipe out a whole community in one go. If they can't use their hordes, the Whisperers are known to use spies in communities and to poison the survivors. One thing I do also have to mention about the Whisperers is that Alpha is a hypocrite. Alpha may talk about wanting the Whisperers to be animals and to reject everything human, but she is holding on to that herself with Lydia. Alpha goes out of her way to keep Lydia alive, and because of that, she pushed the Whisperers to be monsters so that she could keep Lydia safe. And eventually, this twisted love for and need to protect Lydia led to the downfall of the Whisperers. And after both Alpha and Beta died, the Whisperers were nearly completely wiped out. However, some survived, and under the new leadership of Keith, the Whisperers changed again to become more scavengers and to loot everything they can to survive. These new Whisperers were way more averse to any conflicts and would try to avoid any survivors they found. These new Whisperers are only met once by Aaron, Carol, Jerry and Lydia in the ruins of Hilltop, where they were just trying to survive with their families. This is the last thing we know about the Whisperers, and their fate is left unknown as we never see them again. Did they survive or die? We will never know the fate of the Whisperers. And that is it for my Whisperers Explained video. And thank you for watching me talk about the rise and fall of the Whisperers and everything we know about this villain group. But that's it for me today, so goodbye, peace out, and I'll talk to you later.